Okay, welcome back. Well, I ready to work on things. Using a let's try to dossier. Is this one? This one, okay. Mhm. Um, for godot set. Oh, right. They're not the same name. Uh, mm, okay, so first thing I want to do. I've already done the installation. However, if I go to Godot and simple save tool, they named just like as they are called. Yeah, I guess it's. Yeah, so and yeah, so library, rep, simple save tool. That's what I'm using. It has an MIT license, which means it's nice to use. All right. Going back to 2D. Checkpoint or save point or whatever this is. Usage. Uh, all data persistence. Unsaved data is called. Storing and retrieving data. Var player name, var player coins. Not save set value. Okay. Let's connect signal body entered. Actually, I'll do this in code because I don't want to deal with this repeatedly. So script here, okay. Let's export var, and I'll use the heal area. Colon, heal box area, link, heal area dot on body dot body entered dot connect to the callable I want to call save, start save. Okay. Okay. Cool. Start save. All right. Next, on body entered, start save body. Right. If body is entity base, and then if body dot control node is input manager is mainly my way to identify that it's a player. Return. Okay. So if it's not an entity and it's not got an input manager as its control node, then it's not a player. And we should leave. Okay. Past this point, we are actually saving. And so, what do we want to save? Well, I don't know how to get the currency value. Let's save. Um, that. I'm just gonna. For player position. Um, since I'm going to heal them, player health will just be set to max. Right. Player position. Global. That's pretty important. And then like persistence keys. Persistence needs, let's get this spelling checked by search. Persistence keys would be what? A bunch of just like parameters and values. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna use the dictionary of rules. I think that makes a lot of sense to me, but I don't know. Right. str. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start with the player global position. Okay. It's like making a save system is not clear. Okay. Start save. Okay, let's call. It's not called dot save, but it's the save manager. Um, so this save manager dot set value player global position. Okay. Is it? I guess the other function just doesn't exist yet. Cool. Okay. Um, what are my limitations with dictionary? Or the actual thing? Also, I might want to do issues. Dot save handles a dictionary named data inside of dot resource save. Resource well, data is persistent once saved is called. On save button. So let's just do that as a project setting. Input map. I think Control S. I've already put one for save. Yeah, Control Shift S. Add new action. Control Shift L. Okay. What's next? So we have that working. Or we have save buttons, and we have. I forget how, but there's a way to just like input event. Alright, I gotta learn how to use this, and I also want to have context. I have a my it is MIT, so save system I got from a GitHub repository. Git mainly add this code. I started on a node to use it. What's this? And I want to slowly build it up. I've set a few buttons to call save. I set a few buttons in project setting for save and load. Okay. I don't want it to do everything. That would be a problem. That's most of the, that's, mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, it's basically an area 2D, where the here, there's, yeah, mm, saved her, mm, let's go to the forest level, actually. This one should be not too difficult to work with when it comes to, we can say, system. Okay, instantiate child scene, save a checkpoint, we'll move that over here. Okay, and then we will copy pins node here. Mm-hmm. Okay. I made a scene with save points no code and place them in different positions. There, here. Mm-hmm. I also want to have quick key. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In a process function, sure. And then we cut this. Save as real. Is get player a real function? No, it's assuming I have or something. Okay. Um, right. Okay. Hmm. Right, fine, we'll export the player. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see if this does anything. Nope. See if it prints anything. There's no way that's an exact number. Or is that just a heal? No, that's a health value. Okay. Okay. Set data does what? Set data. Save manager. Dots. Save. Down. Let's see if this is actually monitoring, no, okay. Heal area collisions, 6, I'm going to change that to 7. Because the player's collision box is a 1 on there. Okay. Did not print manual save triggered. That's because Control Shift S does that. Sure. Okay. Okay. We're saving, but we're not giving it a name to save to, are we? Hmm. Actually, I'm going to... Right, let's go to their example, actually. Example, in their ready function, they connect a bunch of signals. Right, they know debugging is true. Which I have that set to true default. Uh, mm, mm, unload the data. Change slot 1. When the state manager is instantiated, ready, update file path, check file and folder, system route, string equals living system route if debugging, else system route, file path equals system route, plus system file name, underscore str slot, extension, slot by default is 0. Okay, run the forest level, trigger a save, files are not updated. It does not, this does not, okay. Uh, Okay, what about on a manual? Manual say per twice because of per objects. If the body. Okay, let me check if like the link here. Testing. Okay. Testing. Okay, so that happened. I don't see a file created, but that's better. It reads it as an input manager. Okay. So it should be getting to here. But I don't see the file being created, so why is that? Time to spur, get data, await, res, return res. Okay, let's look at the example. The player has a little bit of script. On, save, position equals get data. No, that's low. Set data. Data is saving. Is it here? Set the data, await save manager dot save. It uses an await, so I will use an await. Run it. Change to slot 0. Save. Change to slot 1. Load. Loads are right there, right? Okay, change to slot 0. Load. Not the example. Since I did the await, does that do it? No. Does it change any of its process modes? Debugging. Save data, connect, save. Save, save. Wait, save. Okay. If I don't have an example, if I just try to load, okay. If I just press save, no, it just shows up. Okay. With all that information. Okay, so when this is pressed, all of that, save data pressed, we go to the signal. Okay. That sets the data, which does this. And then we save data. Set data, save data. Oh, you call debugging in ready. Okay. In my example, or in my thing, in the ready function, call debugging, set it to true, and it has to be save manager. Dot debugging, true, true. That should update this path. And if we run the forest level, we should see that have a value. Yes. Remove item, remove item. And if I continue to enter here, okay, sure that the value has changed. And if I go to the other save point, exit that body, and check it now, put this on always top, the value has changed. Okay? Right? If I move here, the value has not changed. If I do Control Shift S, the value has changed. Cancel. Manual save in the air. Okay. Excellent. We got a test working for the save. So we can call save. Alright. Cool. Okay. Bunch. Okay. Um, func start load. Net. Actually, no, it's this thing needs to be unindented. Okay, body dot mobile position equals not set, get data, and wait, load data, and then what does the example do? What order does it go in? Save manager load, then it gets the data. Okay. And get data is default value. Okay. And go here. Load first. Global position equals get data. Global position with a default value of or 00. Yeah, 00 is fine. Vector to 0. I'm gonna do -10 actually. Okay. Run the scene. Okay. Control Shift L. It's not called, so Control Shift L. Oh, that's a little funny, but it's like reasonable. So you can jump in the air. It's mainly because they're the same button. But yeah, I think that's like fine because it's just being tested and whatnot. But yeah, okay. Let me go with self.position. Actually, no, that's probably a terrible idea. Run it. Okay. It's loading. Okay. If we remove this item and load, this is 00. Oh, plus -10. So, okay. That seems like it could introduce a bug. What's the property that does it? Probably in movement, anyways. Can coyote jump equals false, current jump direction, remaining air jumps. I don't know if the jump's starting before the saving and loading or what. Okay. Ow. My back. Oh, that hurt a little. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait. Yeah, ow. My back needs a stretch or something. That just doesn't. Why is it doing that today? Oh my goodness. Such a strange issue. Okay, cool. Let's go with. Okay. Okay. This version works to save and load. However, um, since it's copied per save point instance, it's a bit of a problem. That way, as it does the same thing more than once. Is the code, and yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Given how you now have both touch save and manual save, your identical saved articles is their shared helper worth probably out of save manager adjacent or small auto load static function like save helpers. Mm-hmm. What did you split? You split on body entrance save, and then this is just like manual save and global save, I guess. Or manual save. And this would be save test controller and save point. On save point, instance only handles touch triggered save. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, manual bathroom. Uh, Alright, and back. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Alright, let me look at the known limitations of the thing. Mm-hmm. Player node. Um, there should be one thing that ever starts and stops saves, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, no node serialization. Get node directly into the data dictionary. Why nodes contain internal pointers that cannot be serialized to disk. Position state only necessary properties like positions, whatnot. So it can't save nodes, but can it save path scenes? Okay. Can you verify that this uh, save system can save path scenes? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, Save manager.gd. I already provided that. Mm-hmm. Here's the code again. Mm-hmm. Resources, escape resource, a custom resource subclass, presumably with a data dictionary, exported fields, and data rich, key value, plain dictionary, no type restricted. Mild type video, native resource serializer, any variant type stored inside a resource exported track resulting nested resources and packed scenes. Export storing resources. Okay, so running a save file this way is equivalent to running any other Godot resource that can exceed coded of all context or tampered with or came from an untrusted source. Uh, okay, that's a little concerning. Um, mhm. Okay, that is good to know. I may edit it to use Johnson. Remind me at some point way in the future before game release. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Yeah. Mm. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Fix me edit of existing code. Okay. Sorry. Edits made to this save manager are the following. By default, debugging is set to true. Mhm. 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 Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. What else is there? Okay, so check or save point. Instead of this, let's do mhm. Mhm. Okay, script. Hmm. Right now we export the healbox area to this thing, but if I didn't, and if all of it actually told me to do, which is one node for the test saving, and one node for just calling on what I entered, save. Let me take this because this is just the same thing, but slightly less weird. Verify that that works, actually. Yeah. Okay. It's annoying that I can't consult. Hmm. We've got checkpoint saving and loading working for the player position. Wait, is this used? Not as a variable, no. Hmm. I might actually want to learn about groups before I use them, because I don't know how groups work. Groups. Scene groups, global groups. Interesting. And what is a group? It literally says it there. Why am I struggling to spell this? Okay. If I click this, or this. Okay. Copy group name to clipboard. Okay, what does this do? Docs. Mm-hmm. Let's read about it. Godot group. Okay. Groups work like tags. You can add a node to as many groups as you want, then in code use scene tree to get a list of the nodes in the group, call a method on all nodes in a group, send a notification to all nodes in a group. This is useful for large scenes and decouple code. Managing groups. Groups are creating by adding a group to a new group name. Likewise, they are removed by removing all nodes from a given group. The way to add and remove goats during design by using the editor doc. During execution by calling add to group, remove from group. While not strictly required, it is recommended to use snake case for naming group names. I use snake case for functions. I might just prefix it with group. Okay. Make the group visible project-wide and be able to be reused in any project scene. This will also allow you to give it a description. You should see the group here. Select node from the scene, add it to everything. The node you selected encryption will automatically be checked. Global and scene groups. Groups with the same name are considered one, and the same feature is purely organizational. Hmm. You can manage global groups in the Groups tab of the Globals doc. Inside Project, are you able to add new globals or change existing group names and descriptions using code. You can also manage groups from scripts. The following code adds the node to which you attach the script to the guards group as soon as it enters screen. Add to group guard. Imagine you're creating an infiltration game. When an enemy spots the player, you want all guards and robots to be on alert. In the fictional example below, we use scene trait call group to alert that the player was spotted. The code calls the enter alert mode on every member of the group guards. To get the full list of nodes, group guards group as an array, you can call get nodes in group. Mm-hmm. Nodes and scene instances. No. An array containing all nodes in this tree that have been added to a given group in this scene. Hierarchy. Okay. In that case, I could do things like save points. Call the save manager. I know save manager. If I go static or if I go static instance number int equals 0. Write the static keyword. Static can help you avoid bugs if you're experiencing the editor. Where and how is type here? You can use some. With static typing, detect more errors even without running code. This argument show up when it static typing improves editor auto completion and documentation of your script. Not static typing, no, I want static. Static keyword. Static variables. Right? Go reference, yeah, okay. Let me go back and just forward. Functions. Static functions. That's where to find it. Static variables, there it is. Okay. Static belongs to the class, not instances. This means a static variable shares between multiple instances, unlike regular members. From inside a class, you can access static variables from any function, both static and non-static. From outside the class, you can access static variables using the class or an instance. Not the second is not recommended. Okay. XID, var ID. Mm-hmm. 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 Nothing static variables from tool script. Other shit's gonna use static variables supposed to be tool script. Static unload annotation. Since those classes are resources, the static variables in the script prevents it from being unloaded, even if there is no more instances of that class and no other references left. This can be important. Static variables store large amount of data or all references to other project resources, such as you can basically move this data up manually or use static unload annotation if variables don't store important data and can be reset. Note that static unload applies to the entire script, including in classes, and must be placed at the top of the script before. Okay, max ID is not used, our name. Um, Okay. Instead of this, can I set data checkpoint instance and then default value, or this is not, there's no default value, it's just instance number. It's the value that we save. Okay. And then player global position, which I don't want to use. Checkpoint instance. Vector 2. Checkpoint instance will be a single number. And then what? How do I use that to help me? Mm-hmm. I'd have to save its global position, and just having the ID number is hard. Yeah, no, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Let's add a node and make this one the root. And then we'll attach to you some kind of save thing. Wait, did I ever end up saving the script properly? Yeah, I put it here. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't like the save of the global position, but it's something. Mm-hmm. You want area? Auto enters. Start save. Okay. Hmm. How do I want to visually structure the save system? Which is its own thing. How do I want to structure save? First thing, save manager is a global, so anything can access it independently to save and load its own data. So that meaning a player can save and load its own position. A scene can save and load its own state. Mm-hmm. Um, can the save manager save a specific piece of data? Okay. That's my next question, actually. Data is saving, is data was loaded. Okay. Um, file ready, save up to ready is just update file path and check file in folder. Verify it exists. Save equals new. Sound deferred. Debugging is activated. Change file name, change slot, save data. Loaded data. Wait data. Set data. Get data. Get all data. Save data. Emit the signal. This sounds like save everything. And then set data. Sounds like you could do one specific thing. Resource.data, data key equals data value. Is that the proper way to do it? Okay. That's set a specific value, and that's set one specific value. Okay, that's good to know. Game can save it and load its own state. Each piece of data can be set on its own using save or set data. A full save can be made using, let's see, maybe the API actually, or the thing actually has a good explanation of this stuff in the, here. Um, set value. Stores a value. Asynchronous saves the current slot to disk, emits before saving. In the data dictionary of the value. Okay, no. So this updates a value. It doesn't save. Okay, no. Okay, that's a good clarification. Each piece of data can be updated using save set data. Note this doesn't cause a save. Using save data, which saves all values in a file. Okay. Loads work similar to saves. Loads the current slot from disk emits data is loading up. Get data. Get value. Retrieves a value. Returns default if the key doesn't exist. Okay. Okay. Could make a resource to remove reliance on using default for the load value. I could make a default save file that is blank. Okay. You know, actually, there is a good reason to do another thing. Okay. In the code review and stuff. Do a documentation check and identify what is a private class with underscore prefix. Mm-hmm. Saves can be deleted. Can have more than one save slot and can delete slots too. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or boss. Mm, well, we need to know if it's been destroyed and a cutscene. Need to know if it has been run. Is that everything? Once again, my finger just stopped working. on my phone because somehow I have no electrical conductivity at all. Or is it the phone that has nothing? It's me. What is up with my body? I just want to check if I have any notifications. To rub my blanket just to get an electrical charge that is usable. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I got nothing of importance. But I think I understand how I could structure it a bit more. Hmm. The save is called a checkpoint. Would need to save the. A checkpoint would just need to heal, I think, actually. A checkpoint. Um. The player would need to set its position when a save is called. What about checkpoints? The player needs to set their position when a save is called. Um, unless it's saved by the checkpoint itself, which is harder. Mhm. Player will need to set its own position when a save is called, unless it's saved by the checkpoint. I'm your boss, a wall, a cutscene, um, an inventory system. Does not apply. Not applicable, which is more common. Player would need to set its own position when a save is called, unless it is saved by the checkpoint. Its checkpoint using its checkpoint to save the player position. Which that one's the harder one, I think. Um, a checkpoint would trigger a global save. An attack would save if it's attached to a player. A key item. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Attack assignment for the saves. Um, uh, I think that's most of what I can think of. Do enemies need anything? Yeah, just the keys. Anything can access the save manager independently, so I want to decide. Okay. Uh, what nodes trigger saves? Save point. Save/checkpoint. Menu. Save menu. Save/checkpoint. Save menu. Uh, auto saves. Okay. One save trigger. There's a bunch of these values that have to be saved. Some cutscene. These feel like the things that would trigger a save, but they wouldn't be a save node, since there's a global autoload for that. So really, which is the script anyways. Um, but since it's a global thing, it's like, what do you do there? Hmm. Yeah, what's your reasoning for different save slots, actually? That's a great question. Oh, I could also have multiple save files, because I can change the name of the saves. Oh, that's actually interesting. I don't want to structure saves. Uh, saves, um, there can be more than one save file based on save structure. Because if I go to this thing and I go to like the name, we've got system file name, system route, resource slot, extension, file path, debugging, is debugging. If I change any of these, which I shouldn't be changing it through there, I should change it through things like change the file name, change the slot. These are like the two main things. And I think that's in the API. Okay, yeah, okay. There can be more than one save file based on any naming scheme. Um, layer one, the save slots. Layer two, scene name. Layer three. So was, um, if I had a level-based game, I could say, okay, we have save file slot 0 with the save data for level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And these would all be separate from each file. They would be all separate files, but they would all have like level 1 slot 0, level 1 slot, or sorry, level 2 slot 0, level 3 slot 0. Then, if I want to change my account to like a different save account or a different slot, all of the data in slots 0 would be unchanged when I move to slot 1. And then the slot 1 could be player two's level 1 slot 0 or slot 1. I guess that's one way to do it. That or there's like a ginormous global save thing, but if I'm doing like entity instances, I think it might be better for a scene. Um, Metroidvanias and things like that. Maybe not the best way to do it. Uh, how do Metroidvanias do their things? So Hollow Knight does it in a way where every time you enter a room, everything spawns one time and then dies when it and it stays dead. And then has persistence keys for bosses. So per room, everything respawns. And something like After Image, which is a Metroidvania, and it has no like transitions between rooms or anything like that. That would be that would have sorry, that one has, I think persistence. I think it just spawns or checks everything being spawned has been spawned at least once based on like the last time you saved. Or the last time you went to a checkpoint? I don't remember. But I think there are some games that like persist T per every enemy in the game, so that if you go back to an area, like recently, it's still dead. Um, hmm. Thinking about the save system's important because then you actually have like a way to implement it that makes more sense. Uh, what triggers saves? Hmm. Basically, anything can be saved. My main question is, which, how do you want to load the scene? And then, um, how would you want to load the scene? Okay, loading scenes, that's my main problem here. How do we load the scene in a way properly? Hmm. So, here's what I think happens. One, we load the full scene. Uh, Godot load. Uh, First, we load the scene. We check the save file for important keys. Then update all those things to match that key. 3 enemy. Wait, no. We load the full scene and then we update important keys. I think that makes some sense, right? I think that makes sense. Um, mhm, 3. Mhm. Okay, now my problem is I haven't learned how to switch scenes yet. In game, kind of. We did load player position. Um, um, mhm, mhm. this is just a good note, I think. All right, I think I'll leave it at that. I'll see you guys tomorrow.